right, Jim, welcome back to another installment of the 94 podcast. I'm joined again here. I'm Brooke Edel, your host. Jim Bushy is my co-host, but I'm joined here by one of our favorite guests, Coach Chauncy Williams-Bearfield. Congratulations on the 2-game winning streak, and again, the Hopkins Royals' recent success.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for allowing me to come back, and looking forward to chatting.
Absolutely. So, Jim, last time we checked, we were looking at the Vikings schedule, but we're talking high school football right now. So we want to break down the last few weeks of Hopkins Royals football. So, Coach, I just want you to kind of just let us know what was going through your mind going into the game that you guys were able to take in the 2-point conversion.
Going into it, I was just hoping that we played well. You know, we have a couple of sayings on our team. We want to play fast, physical, and disciplined, and we've got plenty of talent. So if we show up and play how we should play and how we know how to play and to our identity that we're trying to build, I feel good against anybody any given week. So my hope is always that we just come out and play how we can play. And from there, I feel confident that we can do whatever we need to do.
Absolutely. And you guys were hard in both those games.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that acronym that you shared on your first time here on the 94 podcast. We've seen some great plays. Nice interception just the other day against Burnsville. Early splash play, to see that's just always encouraging to see these young boys make these plays and just also have that confidence. And football is the ultimate team sport, and it takes the full team to accomplish this.
Absolutely. The thing that I'm really proud of so far is that in both of our wins, we actually came from behind. Both games, ironically, we were down by 14 at halftime and not playing great in the first half. Like, literally, if there was a list of things to do wrong in both of these first halves, like, we checked off almost all of them.
Right.
It's like, hey, how about we just drop passes? How about we not tackle? How about we miss field goals? How about we give up kick returns for touchdowns? Like, everything we can do, pretty much, we found a way to do it.
Right. All the miscues happen.
All the miscues, all the mental mistakes, those kind of things. At halftime, we were able to kind of rally the troops, and then we showed some serious resolve to come back and play exceptionally well in the second half. Again, not perfect by any stretch. Right. But scratch and claw and fight our way back into the game, and then ultimately come out with the game. Like you said, the acronym that you gave, big part of our core philosophy is go hard.
Go hard.
Honest, accountable, relentless, and disciplined. So that relentlessness is a big part of that. Hey, no matter what the score is, no matter what it looks like, let's just keep fighting. Let's keep scrapping, keep clawing, scratching, clawing, do whatever we got to do to get back in the game. And that is never over.
It's never over.
Football is one of them sports where, hey, it's all about momentum. So obviously first half, you're not doing great. They've got the momentum. Halftime, the beautiful times, 15 minutes to reset, recalibrate. Okay, let's go out and win the second half. Let's play to our identity. Let's play the way we want to play, and let's find a way to get back in the game. In both games, we were able to do that. Last week, I guess 2 weeks ago now against Eastview.
Yeah.
Every opportunity that we had to let up, it was there. Our kids continued to lock back in and continue to answer the bell to fight through that adversity. So much so, even in that overtime period, because I went on defense, of course.
Right.
I learned that from the Super Bowl.
You learned that from the Super Bowl,
My 49ers.
Yes, your 49ers.
We decided to take the ball.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Which is a coaching no-no. Everybody knows that. But that was the first thing in my mind. If I'm being honest, I am not pulling a Kyle Shanahan in this.
Right. No Kyle Shanahan miscues here.
So sure enough, man, I said, hey, let's go on defense so we know what we need.
Right.
And also we put that pressure on them to try to score first.
Exactly.
They, after 2 plays, score. I believe they ran the ball once, and they threw a fade to the back corner, bobble situation,
yeah.
Questionable call, boom, they scored.
They scored.
The extra point. So it's like, again, so we did all these things to get back in the game.
Right.
We answered the bell, overcame all the adversity and regulation. We get in overtime. We do everything right by getting to go on defense.
Right.
Hoping to get a stop or at least limit it to a field goal to where all we need to do is punch one in.
Exactly. To win the game.
Right. Regardless of 2-point conversion, we got the game. Right. They score on a fade route. and moss one of our kids, right?
Yep,
It's like,
yep.
okay.
They moss one of your kids,
Another
right?
avalanche of adversity in that moment. So sure enough, we get back, we get the ball, and we run the ball. We lose 8 yards on a run play.
Okay.
So it goes from being whatever, first and 15 or whatever. It's like first and 20 something. I don't know.
Right.
We went way backwards.
Right, way
That's not how
back.
you
8-yard
draw it
loss
up.
on the first play. Yeah.
That's not how you draw it up.
Morale's not high.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's wavering.
But
it's wavering.
It's like okay,
Okay.
that's not what we need. That ain't great.
Right.
Sure enough, we throw a perfectly thrown slant pass, we score, and in that moment, I just say, listen, we always preach to our kids again, being relentless, never playing scared,
Right.
never coaching scared.
Yep.
So in that moment, it's like, do we want to put the chances of winning the game on an extra point where many things can go wrong, or can we put it in the hands of our kids that
Right.
we trust and we've been telling that we trust and believe in to go win the game? That's what we did. We put it in the hands of our kids. Our OC called an amazing play. Sure enough, we hit the pass in the short front of the end zone. Crowd goes crazy.
Pandemonium.
Oh man!
Wow.
Man, it was everything that I thought it would be and more. I kind of had it, whenever the streak was going to be broken.
Sure.
Obviously, we wanted to do that week 1. That didn't happen. We wanted to do it week 2. That didn't happen.
Right.
But when we knew it was going to be broken at some point, we figured it's going to be a big moment. Right?
Exactly.
But it was more than I could ever imagine.
No, that's awesome. That's awesome. So like that's like a hallmark moment, and shout out to your offensive coordinator for calling that great play, because like when I saw the quarterback roll out, I'm like, he's got the guy open,
Yep.
and then he hits him, and it's just like everything kind of like almost time stands still in that moment. All right, so Coach, I know that was a great call by your offensive coordinator, where you see the quarterback roll out and you see your offensive player just kind of, is it tight end or?
He's a fullback.
Fullback. You
Yeah.
see a fullback. Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool to see a
Yeah.
fullback on a play like that. Leak out and you see the play in real time, but you just see that everybody was present in that moment. How
Yeah.
cool was that?
It was really cool, and we anticipated at some point we were gonna break the streak, and you kind of envision what it's gonna be like, right, in your mind.
Absolutely.
And to have everybody so locked in and they understood what was at stake, especially with us being in overtime,
Right.
with us having the opportunity to score in that moment and then go for 2, everybody knew what it meant.
Yes.
And when he caught the ball, like immediately, it was an eruption. It wasn't like people were like asking, what happened? Did we win? Like they knew. And within 10 seconds, like there was hundreds of people on the field. They came rushing on the field, the old storm the field.
Storm the field, yeah.
I had to try to headlock most of the kids to get
Yeah.
them to go shake hands and
Right.
kind of end the game the right way.
Absolutely.
But it was an amazing moment. I'm talking families, community members, faculty, coaches, alumni. I don't know if it was a dry eye on the field.
Wow.
Everybody knew exactly what it meant, and I learned something this week. So
Okay.
most of the kids who are playing for us now
Sure.
have been in the program for a long time,
Right.
Since they were young.
Since they were young, yeah.
So the large majority, so I was aware of and present to that they haven't won a game in 3 years, right?
Okay,
The streak.
right. The streak, 3 years.
I learned this week that the large majority of them haven't won a game since 5th grade.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
5th grade, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade
Grade,
football,
right.
9th grade
Grade
football,
football.
10th grade through varsity as seniors now.
Seniors.
7 years.
7
they
years.
haven't won a football game. So I understood that the streak was a thing, and losing 30 games consecutively, obviously, whoa, how, wow, right?
How's that happening? Right.
Exactly.
Right.
And the feelings and the emotions that goes behind it, and then to have that additional knowledge come after the fact. I didn't know that when we broke the streak. I learned that after the streak was broken. 7 years of playing football, blood, sweat, tears, bumps and bruises, violent physical sport, arguably the most demanding sport you can play, from what it takes to do it from week to week and what it puts on your body and everything. To not win a game for 7 years, now that gives me an even greater sense of truly what it meant to our community, because most of the people knew that as well. So it was amazing. It was an amazing moment. I mean, the celebration and
Yes.
The festivities took place for probably an hour and a half after the game.
Oh wow!
Like
right.
literally,
Soak it all in. Right.
Yeah. It was amazing. It was an amazing moment.
Some great like images too that I've seen. Like I saw you, coach, celebrating with the fans. I think they carried you off the field.
Around the field, a short period around the field.
Okay.
I got a little bit of a tour around the field shortly. Got the Gatorade bath, of course, and a lot of chants and cheers, and it means a lot to the community. That's kind of the thing. Like, it's one thing to take a job and to do a thing at a school, but it's another thing to really be embraced by the community and for the community to be behind you so much. Me, our coaches, our players, our program, and they truly want to see the program succeed. So with breaking that streak and seeing a little bit of that success coming. Now we're a long way from winning state title, or we're not even there, right?
Right.
But just in terms of seeing some progress and seeing something that they can be proud of has been one of my biggest goals. Is, hey, we want anybody that comes to our game to see the honest, accountable, relentless, disciplined, fast, physical, disciplined football.
Go hard.
Go hard.
Yep.
We want you to walk away, whether we win or lose, you say, you know what, hey, we didn't win, but I'm proud of those boys. I'm proud of that coach. They played, they represented us well, etc. So to start moving in that direction has been great.
That's awesome. That's awesome, Coach. Congratulations
Thank
on
you,
the win.
man. Thank you.
The wins.
I know, right? So then we followed it up with another win last night. That was something.
Okay.
Again, everything we can do wrong in the first half, we found a way to do it.
Yep.
It's like, all right. But it's just, so the whole week, it's like, as coaches, you have to say things 1,000 times to make it land once. That's
Absolutely.
my thing. I'm very repetitive, keep things simple, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just really present to that fact that these are kids.
They're kids, right.
Attention span ain't long. Focus ain't there 9 times out of 10. So you got to say things a million times. So I'm really big on catchphrases and acronyms, right?
Absolutely. Yep.
So this week, our mindfulness coach and our JV head coach, he's kind of like our mindfulness and yoga, meditation, mindset coach.
Mindset coach.
Yeah, mindset.
Right.
Mindset coach. He started a chant this week that says start, and then the kids would say fast. Start fast, start fast, right? So, because the last couple games we played, all of our games for that matter, even against Shakopee, we went out and we got blanked in the first half. We threw 35 in the second, still lost. Same thing with Buffalo. Buffalo, we played them. We might have got a score in the first half. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. I think it was like 20-6 or something at half. And we came storming back and almost won that one.
Right.
Just like, but we scored like 20-something points in the second half.
Exactly.
So then we break the streak versus Eastview. Same thing. Down 14-0.
Yeah.
Then we had to come storming back in overtime and win by 1 point in overtime with 2-point conversion. So we're like, hey man, we're pretty good when we play how we want to play.
Sure.
Can we start that way?
Yeah.
Like, why not? Why not avoid the heart attacks?
Right.
And the blood pressure issues. Why don't we just start playing that way? We might have a pretty easy night.
Exactly. Let's make it easy on ourselves.
It's for sure. Yeah. So the whole start fast thing started. So
start fast. Yep.
We all go in there, all focused, ready to go to start fast, and we start slow. Of course.
Right.
So we go into half, we reset, and then we score 34 points in the second half. So defense did a great job of holding us in the game because, again, offensively, we couldn't do nothing right. We had a pick six thrown. That was great. And we're really big on not turning the ball over and definitely not giving up points.
Right.
So
that was a 2-for-1 there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Boom. Bang, bang.
Yep.
Things that we don't want to do.
Yep.
And go down 14-0. But even still, we've been preaching the last week very, very hard. 3 phases. Offense, defense, special teams.
Absolutely.
When one phase is struggling, the other two got to hold the weight.
They got to hold the weight, yep.
So, sure enough, offense couldn't do nothing right. And then at the very end of the first half, we got a touchdown. So we got a turnover on downs. Defense is balling, doing an amazing job.
Right.
Keeping us in the game, giving us short fields. Finally, we get our life together. We get a score right before half.
Sure.
So that's momentum.
Right.
We get the extra point too, bro.
There you go.
Okay.
Here we go.
All right. We make an extra point. Excellent. Okay.
Yep.
So we 14-7 at half.
14-7. Okay.
And then we get the ball back after half. And then one thing leads to another. We rattle off 27 straight points.
27 straight points.
Defense pretty much pitches a shutout. We got a kick return very, very late in the game, which was potentially a game tilter.
Right.
Because we score back, we get the momentum on our side, and we kick off the ball, trying to like squib it to make it where it's not a great return.
Right.
Sure enough, it goes right to a dude, full speed, boats down the field, because we had just taken the lead, then they take it right back.
They take it right
one
back.
Play.
Right.
We
Momentum
score,
swing.
We got the extra point. We're feeling good. Okay, let's step on their throat. Let's finish the game.
Exactly.
All that good fun stuff.
Yep.
All right, it's in our hands. It's under control. Hey, let's go. Boom. Kick the ball off, return it for a touchdown. We go down. We score. Right after that, the lead had to change.
Answer that score. Yeah.
The lead had to change 3 or 4 times in the fourth. And then, we're in a situation where it's prevent, or we had the lead. I think it was a 6-point lead, if I'm not mistaken. It's prevent situation. They got to move the ball down.
Sure.
They don't have much time. They don't have many timeouts. And we end up putting them in a 3rd and long. Then it turns 4th and long, I believe. And then they're doing the old lateral.
Right.
Lateral
Hook and ladders, all chaos.
So we hit the kid pretty good, and one kid strips the ball, and we do a strip, fumble, scoop and score.
Scoop and score.
Right, to end the game. So it ended up being 34-22.
Wow.
But we did all of that. Scooping scores, stopping the ball.
Sure.
We had multiple interceptions in the game. We rattled off all them points. We're scoring at will. We're running the ball. We're doing all the stuff that we want to do. 28 straight points.
28 straight points.
34 pretty much unanswered outside of that kickoff return.
Absolutely.
So it was a great game in the sense that, again, we started off slow.
Sure.
Down, momentum not on our side, and just with breaking that losing mentality, that give-up mentality that we've had. But every time in the past,
it was no more, here we go again.
Exactly. It was like, we're down, okay, we're going to lose. They would just lay down, then the score would just get ridiculous, 50-6 or whatever.
Right, exactly.
I'm not saying that's never going to happen again,
right.
But what we preached at halftime was, we've seen this movie before. We literally seen this movie last week.
Yeah.
We played crappy in the first half. We got our life together at halftime. We won the second half.
Yep.
Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
And I was very, very proud of my boys, very, very proud of our coaches for us to be able to rattle off those points, the defense continue to put pressure on them, take the ball away, give us short fields, which set us up to get those touchdowns. It was a complete team win. So to go put together 2 consecutive wins and to do it in the way that we did it, to where we had to fight, we had to scratch, we had to claw, we had to overcome adversity, we had to play 3 phases of football, we had to lean on each other, we had to go through some of those dark and scary times during the game, and to find a way to get out of it. That's going to be a huge boost going forward, to where we can say, hey, no matter what happened or what the score looks like, we can turn to each other and say, hey, listen, we've been here before, we know how to do this. Let's freaking go.
Let's freaking go, right. Absolutely.
Or we can start fast and not be in that situation.
Right, start fast.
That's going to be the goal. That's going to be the goal every week. Hey, can we start fast? Can we start playing like that in the first quarter and maybe put the game out of reach early? Hey, that'd be cool. But
we'll see what the outcome will be then,
exactly.
Right? You guys could be up 50 at that point.
I mean, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we did that.
Right.
It's a lot easier to coach the game when you're up by 50.
Right, exactly. More playing time for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
It's complimentary football.
Absolutely, 100%.
So 3 phases, I love that.
So that's kind of been the last 2 weeks. You know, we got homecoming coming up this week against Park Cottage Grove, a good team, well coached. So that's going to be a good game.
Okay.
At home, 7 p.m.
7 p.m.
Friday.
Hopkins, homecoming.
Yep,
okay.
It's a big deal. So we got the 2-game winning streak. Now, on Monday, we were racing all of that 0-0. We're going 1-0 this week. We're not thinking about the win streak. We're not thinking about winning the game. I've been really big on a slogan that I've created called earning the right. Okay. We have to earn the right to be in position to win a game by how we prepare during the week.
Absolutely.
If we got the lackadaisical mindset, we're feeling ourselves, we thinking we done won the state championship, we think we somebody, and we gonna mosey into the game and expect that Park Cottage Grove's gonna lay down and just give us something. Nah, we got a world of pain and suffering coming in. That's our mindset.
You're right.
So we're gonna, again, the last 2 weeks, now the third week, we're gonna erase all that stuff. We're not posting, we're not sharing about the win, we're not talking about it no more. We're gonna watch film on Monday, make our corrections, but moving forward, we're on to Park.
That's awesome. So now you guys are moving forward and having that mindset of we've been here before. We know what victory tastes like.
Exactly.
We want some more, but we got to prepare for it.
Right.
So practice this week is going to be huge in
Absolutely.
regards to practice. But I'm sure you gave them today to definitely
Oh, yeah,
enjoy that. Yeah,
over the
because
weekend,
yeah,
yeah.
over the weekend, that's awesome. You know, like, hey, salute to the Royals being able to, you know, have that. Being able to break through not only just like the last 2 weeks, but just like having to show up and knowing that like, hey, there's a streak, but then now the streak's dead. Now you can talk about just football.
Right.
And I love that for you guys.
One last point, when you said the Royals, I appreciate you mentioning that. Our lower levels have been successful as well.
Okay.
So we haven't won games on any level
Sure.
in a very, very long time. Definitely not consistently.
Right.
So this was our first sweep of a school since forever. So we won varsity, JV, they end up
JV.
forfeiting.
Okay,
They
forfeiting.
didn't- whatever. So we taking that.
Sure.
On the books, it's a 2-0 win. That's a win. We
It's
taking
a win.
that.
Right.
Okay.
Right. It's a sweep. Right. Too.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then ninth grade also were
Ninth grade.
successful in getting a win too. Pretty big too. It was like 36-0 or something.
Right.
So that was cool. And then last week we won, and freshmen won, but JV didn't win. So now
Okay.
we're starting those winning habits in the lower levels, and even our middle school. Our middle school team have been successful this year. They've got
Okay.
a handful of wins
That's
on the
great.
middle school level. So it's starting to
So
trickle down.
it's the
some.
pipeline.
Yeah,
Right. Right.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, and that's the biggest thing, you know, you're only as strong as your pipeline, and you're only as strong as the belief within that pipeline. So if everybody's like, you know what, hey, we actually can win.
We can win.
You
Right.
know, if
We're
we play
winning.
fast, we play disciplined, we play physical, and we're doing these things, we're putting in the work, we're earning the right every
Earning the
week in
right.
practice, how we prepare, we play like the game, practice like the game, all these things that we're preaching day in, day out. We can actually win.
We can actually
And
win.
then now when you win, it gets to be a little bit addicting.
Right.
And now these things that we're preaching ain't just words.
No.
Like, hey, this stuff works.
These are actions.
Like,
that
these
are
dudes
coming.
know what they're talking about. Hey, let's listen to these coaches a little bit more. Let's practice a little bit harder. Hey, let's stay a little bit late, come a little early. So now it becomes a thing where, like, we want to feel that feeling every week.
Absolutely. That's awesome, and I'm like, shout out to all the families, especially like all the families that saw this happen live. And I definitely got to take you up on that homecoming. So
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah, I'll
I
definitely.
mean, if we want to do a pod live at the game or
Sure.
whatever, or whatever, however way you want to do it.
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
let me know what you want to do. If you want to do a pod or
We
a
do
live
like a
stream
pregame.
or a pregame thing,
Right, pregame, postgame. Right.
whatever.
Yeah.
So we can collaborate.
We can
but
collaborate on that.
Like I said, in the summer, you guys got the red carpet. Whatever y'all want to do, whatever access, get in the game free, all that good stuff.
Okay.
Take good care of y'all.
Absolutely. I'll definitely give you a call.
Cool.
Yeah, awesome. So now we're shifting gears here. I know you're a big football fan. Have you been watching a little bit of college football? But also congrats to one of your students. I think they got a scholarship to Hamlin University.
Yeah.
Definitely want to shout him out.
So it's actually a huge positive and also a little bit somber. So his name is Jamison Hedman. He's a receiver and D-back for us, and he actually got hurt in practice this week. So he got the offer, and then he actually broke a bone in his ankle in practice.
I'm sorry to hear
So
that.
big prayers, big vibes
prayers,
to him.
right. Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be fine.
He's gonna be fine.
It's not a career.
He's young.
anything.
Yep.
Yeah. So he's just he needs to have a minor surgery, and some recovery time, rehab time. But he'll be fine to go next year. He's a junior.
He's a junior.
That's a huge
Okay.
benefit too. So he'll be back and bigger, stronger, faster than ever. But it's kind of a roller coaster for him.
Sure.
Boom! I
Sure.
get my first offer. It's a school that he was kind of really liking, and
Absolutely.
then boom! Literally the day after, breaks his ankle in practice.
Wow.
It's
Wow.
like adversity, right?
Adversity, exactly,
Yeah.
right. But God wouldn't put you through all that if He didn't know that you could handle that.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
And to his credit too, he's been a great teammate. A lot of kids, they get hurt, they get check out. They go into that dark place.
Sure.
I don't want to be around the team, and understandably, they kind of go through a little bit of a mourning
Absolutely.
after injury.
Sure.
He's been at every practice. He came to the game. He's getting wheeled around in a wheelchair. He's got the boot on his foot.
Right.
He's cheering on his boys. So
Cheering
I'm
on
really
his
proud
boys.
of him for that too.
Absolutely.
He's got the right mindset, and he's staying locked in with his boys and supporting his team.
That's important. That's
Absolutely.
important. That's what that winning culture is all about.
Absolutely. And
Right.
it says a lot about him as a young man.
As a young man as well, exactly. Going through all those stages, because the emotional high, and then also that that valley of, realizing that you are hurt, you're not able to go out and do what you love, being out on the field.
And he was playing so well, too.
Yes, he was balling out.
So just on a human level, like, I'm playing better than ever. I got coaches who are putting me in the right situation to do what I do best. Like, he's loving it, having a good time. He's playing better and better each week.
Sure.
And then to have that happen. So, yeah, it says a lot about who he is for him to be able to kind of weather that storm and work through it and yet still be the honest, accountable, relentless, disciplined young man that we're expecting him to be.
Absolutely. So for college football, have you been kind of watching any of the college football? We can kind of shift into college football. It's a perfect transition now. I know we got Jim. I was talking to Jim about a couple games. I know Tennessee and Oklahoma, first time they're meeting as SEC rivals. It's going to be in Norman. I think that's going to be like one of my keystone games to watch out for this week. Also Texas, Arch Manning taking over for Quinn Ewers.
Yep.
So, and Quinn Ewers was, projected as like one of the Heisman hopefuls.
Right.
So Texas got a quarterback controversy possibly, and I'm sure you're not a stranger to that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. How would you kind of handle that? I'm just kind of curious.
So
with that.
The unspoken rule of coaching is that players should not lose their position due to injury. Should not. Especially if they're playing well.
Yep.
Momentum is there. They're not costing the team.
Sure.
So it's not like it's a close battle. They should be able to come back and step back into their starting role.
Right.
However, if the player who steps in is doing as good, if not better, and the team is sustaining momentum behind that player, that's where that conflict comes in.
Absolutely.
So depending upon how long Ewers is going to be out and severity of his injury, you kind of have to just go with the hot hand, especially for them. They're ranked number 1 in the country for the first time in a very long time. So, I mean, back to Vince Young days. Yeah, so I would have to just go with Arch if it was me. If I was the coach, I would go with Arch. Let's keep the momentum going, because when Ewers come back, it's probably going to be rusty, right? So those kind of things, when you're ranked number 1 and you have national championship aspirations, you can't afford any hiccups. You can't drop any games. You can't get down big in the first half.
No.
You got to keep that momentum going and keep that machine rolling. So that's what I would do.
Okay, that's fair. So Jim, I know you.
Yes.
How do you kind of see that situation with Arch Manning? I want to let you kind of jump in here too.
I mean, I agree. Someone should not lose their position over an injury, but I mean, if you have someone who has the hot hand, someone who's going and they are taking the team to the next level, you got to ride with them. Ride with them until they make the mistake. And Archie is a freshman. He still needs to learn, but he'll have his time to learn after this season. Coach got to ride the hot hand, but once he's done, I think you go back to the previous way it was.
Okay, that's an interesting take. I kind of see it in that light too. I see your perspective as coach, and also as like, you can't lose your job because of injury, but at the same time you have to take like a pulse of the locker room, because if you owe it to the locker room on who is going to be the best person in that huddle, because the SEC is not going to have any let-ups, because even they're playing Florida in a couple weeks, that's not going to be a cupcake game. You still have to show up, and you have to put your best foot forward, and then also having that pressure of being number 1, because we know Texas Longhorns fans are very diehard, they're very loyal, they're very invested, all the boosters there. So they want to see more of these big names come to Texas. And if you see that, Arch Manning is having a lot of success, and he kind of looks like his grandpa out there. I don't know if you've seen NFL films. His grandpa can move. I mean, like Peyton, Eli, they weren't too fleet of foot, So seeing him actually kind of bust off like a couple large runs against UT San Antonio, that was kind of like, okay. But now you play Baylor. So I think the benchmark for me is going to be how he does on this back half here? Because I know they got to 1, but like let's see how he does against Baylor. And we got Oklahoma, so the Red River rivalry that's coming up. So that's big because we saw that with the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams, when he played for Oklahoma. Yeah. Like you can make a name for yourself in that game. Mm-hmm. So that's going to be one that I'm going to circle for Texas and Oklahoma coming up. But yeah, shifting into the Big Ten, we had a huge upset just last night. Illinois dethroned Nebraska. Nebraska was almost 10-point or 9-point favorites, and then they were able to shock the world. And Illinois with with former Wisconsin coach Rick Bielema, like he was able to go and dethrone Dylan Raiola. Yeah. So and he was talked about as, cosplaying Patrick Mahomes. Sure. I don't know. I want to get your take on that. Do you kind of see that with some of your players, kind of just cosplaying some of their favorite players?
That's the thing about sports is that all the kids have certain players they look up to, right? Sure. That are, that they're allowing to influence their playing style or that they identify with. And Mahomes is like the Peyton Manning or Tom Brady of this era. So. Sure. And the fact that in this new age of football with mobility and playing off script being very, very important, Caleb Williams and Josh Allen, Absolutely. Lamar Jackson, right. Patrick Mahomes,
extending play.
So many of these quarterbacks now, if you're not mobile, it's a big knock against you.
Absolutely.
So mobility being key. So when you see these kids coming up and they're playing like Mahomes, really what they're doing is just playing this era of football.
Sure.
Right? And Mahomes is obviously the best at doing it. So it makes a lot of sense. And the fact that, he got some mannerisms, sure. And kind of has a little bit of a swag like him. Swag, it's right. Not an accident. It's like back in our day, walking and talking like Kobe or Jordan,
Right.
It's the same thing.
It's the same thing,
Kids, every kid back when I was in school, they wanted to wear 84 if you're a receiver because of Randy Moss.
Randy Moss, right.
So it's the same thing. Every area you're going to have a handful of kind of marquee players that the kids identify with and try to model their game after. And with the modern age era of football that we're in, Mahomes is the perfect balance of mobility, arm strength, playing off talent, off schedule.
Off platform, right.
So it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Okay.
And also, like Caleb Williams, kind of the same thing. Everybody kind of said he was like Mahomes 2.0.
Absolutely.
It's going to help Raiola, especially in Nebraska, get noticed, get the NIL, get the draft stock up, all that stuff for him to kind of be a little bit more of that juicy guy that makes you want to watch.
Exactly.
So it's not an accident.
Right, it's not an accident.
It's a little bit of intentionality there to make sure people know who he is and he's getting attention.
Absolutely. Great intention there. Another Big Ten matchup, Iowa-Minnesota. A lot of controversy on this one because Minnesota was able to win Floyd Rosedale, I think the pig that they have, the trophy. So that is a border battle. And I'm sure a lot of houses are divided.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we're going to see what the Gophers can do to defend the rivalry game. But I know Iowa wants it bad.
Right.
And I work with some folks that are big Iowa Hawkeye fans, so they had this game circled. So that'll be interesting. That'll be at Huntington Bank, I believe. Yeah. So have you gone to any of the games, or have you taken your kids to?
I haven't been to a Gophers game recently. Probably 3 or 4 years ago, I went to one, but not recently. Okay. But every week, place is sold out. It's packed. It's a great environment.
Sure.
PJ's doing a good job of keeping the electricity going.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Every rivalry game on any level, any sport, all the records, all the hoopla goes out the window.
It does.
It's your rival.
your rival.
So you're going to get the other team's absolute best shot. They know you very well because they play you every year. So it's going to be a good game. I anticipate it being a really good game, and I think the Gophers can pull it off.
Okay. I'm on that train too. I think the Gophers can pull it off. It's a rivalry game, so throw the records out the window. But the Gophers have been playing better. They're coming off some recent success beating Nevada. Even though it's not a Big Ten opponent, it's good to see that Max Brosmer is able to get that passing attack because it's so huge to have a well-rounded offense. And you could say at any level. It could be high school, it could be college, or in the pros, in the NFL. You need to have that well-balanced of your offense. Otherwise, you're not going to keep teams honest.
Right.
And then they're just going to stack 8 in the box and then be like, all right, try to beat us through the air.
100%. I agree with that. And you beat me to the point. I was going to say that both teams are built the same way. They both want to run the ball. They both want to play good defense and not give up any big plays. So it's going to be a good physical game. It's going to be a good physical rivalry game. And
Good throwback game.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
You know, and they know each other very well, so it makes for good matchups too. So I think Minnesota can do it because I feel like they can pass the ball just a little bit better than Iowa.
Sure.
So with that ability to stretch the field a little bit, I think that's going to give them an edge.
Okay, awesome.
In my humble opinion.
In your humble opinion. Right. Jim, you want to touch on this point? Gophers, Hawkeyes?
Ooh, Gophers, Hawkeyes. You know, it's a rivalry game. And like you guys have been saying, you guys know they know each other very well. But someone has to be a villain here. I'm going to go with Iowa. I'm winning this one.
Okay.
I have to.
Way to be different.
I'm going to be.
No, that's good. That's good. We need that. We need that. Going with Iowa, you just feel like Iowa is gonna rise to the occasion. Okay.
It's just the feeling I got coming. There's a primetime game. Yeah, it's in Minnesota, but I think being on the road, I think they're gonna want it a little bit more since it's like a primetime game. Like kids are now like, these are the games I want to be in. These are the games that are like you get to watch on TV. Like, hi, like, Mom, look at me, I'm finally on TV. Yeah, these kids are going to be amped, but I think Iowa's going to have a little bit more of an edge.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, there's just a lot of good college football games. I know we got to talk football, NFL football with you. I know our Vikings, your 49ers, they did match up last week. I was at the game. You were at the game. Jim, he was at the Green Bay and Indianapolis game.
Got it.
Yeah, so we were all at NFL games last week. We'll break down week. I can't believe it. It's week 3 already. Already.
Oh, goodness.
So I know who your 49ers play.
This week?
Yeah,
we got the Rams.
You got the Rams.
Yeah.
Big rivalry game.
Yep.
You got Jimmy Garoppolo pretending to be Brock Purdy in practice now. Rolled eyes, right? Who cares? Right. Matthew Stafford got banged up in the last game.
Yeah.
So I think the Rams are kind of coming in limping. No Puka Nacua. Cooper Kupp's going to be in the IR. You guys are dealing with, I think, with Demarcus Robinson and then also Jordan Whittington. Mm-hmm. So not the household names for the Rams as for playmakers. I mean, they still have Kyron Williams, but not the same Rams that you're accustomed to facing off in a very fierce NFC West division rival.
Yeah. I am actually not mad about that at all.
Sure.
Because we're coming in limping too. No Debo.
Yep.
Debo's out. Kittle's out. McCaffrey's out.
Yep.
There's a defender too. I can't think who it is. So yeah, we're down some big dogs too.
Sure.
We're coming in limping. So, you know, Jordan Mason has been playing amazing, our running back.
He has
a young guy, and we kind of seen this coming as Niner fans.
Okay.
When he would get in, you know, for Christian. It was like, who is this kid?
Right.
That dude comes in kind of like with the Marshawn Lynch kind of a look. You know,
Sure.
with the number 24, got the
24
dreadlocks. Slashing and running people
Running
over.
downhill, right.
all
Running
that
people
stuff.
over.
It's
Right.
like, we like this kid. So I'm glad that the Rams are a little bit banged up because we are too. And this is a rivalry game, division game early in the season. And this is going to have playoff implications later in the season. So I'm glad it's a little bit of a even matchup.
Sure.
And like we talked about kind of with the college thing, the Rams know us extremely well.
Yes.
We know them extremely well. Shanahan, McVay work together
in Washington.
Same offense, terminology, same philosophy overall. Like this is one of those types of games where any little advantage we can get, we need it.
Absolutely.
Especially after what the Vikings did to us last week.
Hey, man, we had to do it. You guys were coming in hot. You guys are coming in hot after the Jets win on Monday night. I was like, all right, we're going to see. And Sam Darnold, he had to prove himself because he's playing against his former teammates that he went to the Super Bowl with. So that's difficult as well because they know his tendencies. At the same time, he knows what the defense likes to do because he's seen them in practice for a full year. So it was cool to kind of just see how that played out. But it was a great game, and I always expect the 49ers to give us a great game because for some reason you guys haven't won in Minnesota since 1992, that was like the wild stat that I learned on Sunday. I didn't know that Steve Young was the last quarterback to lead a victory in Minnesota. But on the flip side, we don't have too much success when we play you guys in Santa Clara.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Minnesota, but every time the 49ers pull up here, we lose. And it's been frustrating. The last 2 games that we came here, I went to the game, spent a bunch of money on tickets and all that, all invested.
You're invested, yeah.
Just to get my heart broken.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, man, it's been tough. And I remember even going back a long time because they haven't come here in a while.
Yeah, they haven't.
So the last couple years and more recently.
Sure.
But before that, the last time I remember them coming was when Brett Favre was a quarterback.
Oh, yeah.
For
09.
the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings.
He's like 08, 09 or whatever.
Yeah.
And they beat us then. Friggin' at the end of the fourth quarter with a miracle pass from Brett. And it was like, what the heck?
Hail
dude?
Mary, right.
Yeah, it's like, dude, every memory I have of the 49ers coming here is painful. It ain't good.
It ain't good, right.
I don't know what's up. But yeah, going back to 1992, I agree. That was a wild stat to learn.
That is a wild
I didn't know that. It was like, okay.
What? Yeah.
Like if and I feel like the Vikings will be in the playoffs.
Okay.
If we have to end up playing them in the playoffs, please don't be here.
Okay, that's what you're praying for. Yeah, just not another game.
No.
You'll be like, hey, this is fine. Like, just avoid them at any point. Like, if you have to like lose a game so you don't have to come here, like, or whatever it is, just don't come back to US Bank.
Something, man, because it's definitely something going on in this building or in this state.
Right. Yeah, something happened.
We can't make it that matchup be here.
Absolutely.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. The Vikings, they are looking to their Week 3 opponent, Houston Texans. This is the first time Stephon Diggs is in the building since the Minneapolis Miracle. That was kind of a where were you moment for sports in general. And that was cool because that was the year that the Super Bowl was actually in US Bank Stadium. And that's what I was thinking about. It's like, all right, well, if they have the Super Bowl in the US Bank and the 49ers make it, I mean, you're going, right? You got to invest one more time, right?
I got to break the bank or rob a bank, something.
Right.
We're going to have to make that shake. We're going to have to get up in there.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Absolutely. But, yeah, like the last time Stephon Diggs was here was 2017. That's 7 years ago. It's kind of wild to kind of think about. They had Case Keenum, but it was very similar parallels to that team because we had a backup quarterback. We lost our starting quarterback early on in the season. So Sam Bradford went down. We also had Dalvin Cook go down. So we had a lot of backups. I'm not saying anything. I'm not trying to foreshadow anything bad happening to Aaron Jones. I hope he stays safe.
Right.
But Ty Chandler, again, another great running back, almost like a carbon copy of Aaron Jones. And the way that he's running, the way that he's able to really be a home run hitter for us in regards to what Minnesota likes to do with the play action, misdirection. They like to run with Darnold getting out and just looking for the open guy. And then that's one thing that I do appreciate with Darnold so far is that he's making the right play. He's not forcing it because at the end of the game, if you recall, Justin Jefferson, he was out. He didn't have Jordan Addison the whole game. It was Jalen Naylor making these big plays. So he was down to Brandon Powell. I mean, like, these are guys that are just stepping up. So it's good to see that early on. This is going to be a great test, though, with the 2 edge rushers and Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter. Daniil Hunter also making his return to Minnesota. And I hope it's not a house of pain for Sam Darnold.
Hey, it might be. But he's playing well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I think what we got our 2 tackles. We're going to have Brian O'Neill and also Darisaw. He's going to be going, like, they're going to get their biggest test, I feel like, in the whole season in this. Because that will be what I predict will be the X factor. If we're able to win those 2 matchups, we can win the game. But if they're wrecking the game, I feel like C.J. Stroud and Tank Dell and Stephon Diggs, they're going to throw a party because they're just going to be on the field too often and too many times. But Brian Flores, he's a dog.
Yeah.
And I love him, that he's on our side and that we're not. And even when Brock Purdy was saying like that that scheme is crazy. That scheme is crazy.
It really is.
Yeah, because you start seeing ghosts at that point because, like, what he was able to do with that defense, I hope that he can bring that forward with C.J. Stroud. I know, Jim, you got to see the Packers. Yeah, you got to see Anthony Richardson. Is he kind of similar? Do you feel like, like what the Vikings, they'll still be playing Anthony Richardson in a few weeks, but what was your takeaway at Lambeau Field?
It's simple. The running game for the Packers was very good, especially with no Love. Once Love's come back, it's going to be a really big threat. Richardson, he can hit his targets, but he just throws the ball so fast. And the receivers, they just kept dropping passes. I mean, if they didn't keep dropping passes, I'm pretty sure that game would have been closer than it was. But, I mean, just to be able to go to a game is awesome. And, it was so much fun to be back in the stadiums. Yeah, I mean, Richardson is good. Receivers need to get better. And Josh Jacobs, he's been showing why he deserved the contract he got for the Packers.
Absolutely. Yeah, they kept on running the ball multiple times. I think Matt LaFleur, he's realized the recipe. When you don't have your number one quarterback, run the ball and trust Josh Jacobs, why you paid him all that money.
Exactly. And with Malik Willis, his strength, his mobility as well.
Absolutely.
So it just plays right into the hand of what you need to do to win the game. It's just stress the defense in every way possible with the running game. Hit some timely passes, get some play action passes, get some easy pitches and catches on play action pass, and that's what he did. He possessed the ball, put together some long drives, keeping the defense on the field for a long time, wearing them down with that running game, and then you've seen in the second half they kind of really took over the game, and it was a great coaching job by Matt LaFleur.
Absolutely. Yeah, shout out to Matt LaFleur, Malik Willis, because he's going to be going up against his former team in the Tennessee Titans in week 3. And I got to give him a huge shout out because the media, they were trying to like bait him into like, hey, do you have something special for the Titans? He's like, no, they did everything right by me. I mean, like they gave him an opportunity to play in the NFL. And that just shows the sign of maturity.
Exactly.
It's just like you're not going to hold a grudge because it was an opportunity, and then maybe sometimes the opportunities didn't align, and they needed to move on. He needed to move on, and now he's blessed with this opportunity to play and start and actually win his first NFL game that he started. So that was really cool. And Jim, you got to witness all of that.
Oh yeah, Malik Willis, he's been in the league for. Oh gosh, I don't know, 3 years now?
Yeah, I would say 3 at the most, yeah.
Through his first passing touchdown in 3 years in the game.
Absolutely. So we have a cool segment that's called Buy Sell. So Jim, I'll let you kind of lead us into the Buy Sell segment that we do with the NFL every week, and then we'll do our picks, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Cool.
All right, Coach. I mean, as it basically says, we're buying and selling. So, as an example, last week I was an instant sell on the Carolina Panthers season. This week, I am selling Monday Night Football 2 games. I think it's a terrible idea. I think they just need to have the 1 game, and you're dividing your fan base in half. So, I'm selling Monday Night Football for 2 games. For the 2 games.
Okay.
So, a point of clarity.
Yes.
Are they on the same channel? The Monday Night Football game?
There are 2 different channels.
That's what I thought. So, it's on 2 different stations. Are they playing at the same time?
About a 45-minute difference. 30-minute difference.
So, the other one comes on after? There's no crossover where you got to pick one game or the other?
There is a little crossover.
Okay, very minimal crossover. All right, I'm a football junkie. I'm buying it, bro.
I love it. We're off to a great start. Yeah.
I'm buying that.
Okay. All right. For Monday night, I mean, what is there to say that you can't get 2 screens going to watch both games? I got to buy as well on that, Joe. Come on. More
mean,
football.
YouTube
Football, you're asking
TV,
us.
YouTube TV is not paying me to do this, but they got the multiple screen thing on YouTube TV. You can watch 2 games at once, up to 4 at once. And people like me with the NFL Sunday ticket and stuff like that. I'm completely fine with having multiple games up on a Monday night for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah, for Monday night, yeah, I'm definitely buying on that. Yeah, you get to see Joe Burrow. What was the other Monday night game? I think it was Cincinnati.
Cincinnati versus
Commanders.
and
Yep.
then Bills Jaguars.
Bill Jaguars. Come on, those are like 2 teams
Both of
that
them
have been in
games
the
are
playoffs.
interesting. You got Jaden Daniels going up against, Cool Joe. And then you got Trevor Lawrence versus the Jaguars versus.
Bills.
Oh, yeah, with Josh Allen?
Josh
Yeah,
Allen.
come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah,
I'm watching both of them.
I watch them. Yeah, because the Bengals and Commanders. That's going to be 2 former LSU number 1 overall picks, Heisman winners. So yeah, that kind of writes itself. And then we got Josh Allen, and then we got Trevor Lawrence, who just got the bag. So this is a prove-it game for Trevor Lawrence. If you're a Jacksonville fan, you already lost to Tua, and you're coming into this game 0-2. This is it's a must win. And the Bills are 2-0, and I think are they 1-1? Are they 1-1? No, I think they're 2-0 because they
may
beat
be
Miami.
2-0.
They beat Miami,
Yeah.
and then they came back in their first game against Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're 2-0.
They're
playing
2-0.
good football.
They're playing good football, and this is without Stephon Diggs, and he's got the young core, and he's got James Cook cooking. Yeah, he got a 3-ball in Miami. He's a South Florida boy, so respect to the Cook family, and I think that's going to be an exciting game. I got to buy on that, man. I don't know what you're seeing, Jim.
Yeah, Jim, you tripping, bro. I'm buying that.
Listen. I'm fine with the 2 games. I love the 2 games. I love everything. It's just the fact that if you don't have the split screen, you don't have YouTube TV, you have regular cable, you have to pick one or the other. You can't just watch both at once if you have regular cable.
Okay.
That's why I'm selling on it.
We might have to get to establishment for this one, man.
Yeah.
We might have to
Or
get
hope
to
that the first game isn't as competitive. If it's kind of decided already, you can easily switch over to the other game.
make that executive football decision.
Yeah, nah, this one's over.
Okay. All right. So next, buy and sell. So Jim, I'll let you lead with that one.
Oh no, let's coach have it.
Okay. Yeah, coach. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, just pick anything?
Yeah, buy or sell on what.
Okay. Buy or sell Ravens not making the playoffs. They're 0-2. Lack of identity. They're trying to make Lamar Jackson be Peyton Manning still. They got Derrick Henry, who they're barely giving the ball to, but he's still finding a way to get close to 100 yards and a touchdown, but they won't lean into it. The defense is struggling, giving up 1 million points. Are the Ravens in trouble? Will they make the playoffs? Buy or sell?
All right. I can lead off with that. I'm gonna buy on the Ravens because they have the pieces. They just don't have the identity right now. So if they can get their offensive line to actually be cohesive and play a full 60 minutes, full 4 quarters, I think they can really show what they produced last year, where they were able to get to the AFC Championship game. But Todd Monken, you came in saying that you're going to do something different. You were going to let Lamar be Lamar and not try to sculpt him into a pocket passing quarterback. He's not Aaron Rodgers. Let Lamar Jackson be Lamar Jackson. He's already won 2 NFL league MVPs. And I know that with Derrick Henry, I know you brought him in, but you still got to run the ball with him because you're going up against Dallas this week. Dallas doesn't have a spine. And you're going up against a Zimmer defense. I don't know, these are some fighting words right now. But, you just got to run down their throat. Because you got a blood in their nose because, Dallas is pointing fingers. You got Micah Parsons frustrated because he's trying to get his bag because he knows that Dak just got paid. CD Lamb just got paid. He's like, hey, when am I going to get mine? And if my defense is not able to, actually hold the tide, I'm not going to get paid. Yep. So I think right now I'm buying on the Ravens. but they got to run the ball, and they got to let the game come to them and not try to do anything that's out of their character and find their identity. I'm buying on the Ravens making playoffs.
All right, buying on the Ravens making the playoffs. What about you, Jim? What you think?
I'm going to buy them making the playoffs as a wild card. I think they're good enough to make the playoffs, but not good enough to win the division. I think they're good enough to just barely squeak in. Like you said, they don't have the identity. They have the pieces. The pieces are there. They just need to find who they are.
I agree. I'm going to buy as well. I'm going to trust in John Harbaugh being a great coach, Super Bowl winning coach, to look himself and his coaches in the face and say, listen, we are not playing to our strength. Our strength is the ability to run the ball, ability to keep Lamar clean, let him play action pass, make plays off of the run. Their identity has been run game and defense for all these years. Get back to playing Ravens football, and then let everything come to you when the run game is established and you're getting run boxes, run fronts, one high safeties, etc. That's when the passing game is really going to be able to excel, and Lamar is going to be able to do what Lamar does versus the other way around. So I'm going to buy that Coach Harbaugh, great coach. He's going to make the adjustments, get everybody in line, and they're going to take off and start playing well.
Okay. I'll do my buy or sell. I'll do buy or sell on Kirk Cousins. Yeah, Kirk Cousins. I mean, I can lead off. I'm selling on the fact on Kirk Cousins because I feel like right now, he did a great job leading the attack to win that game-winning and a tough place to play, Lincoln Financial Field in Philadelphia. So salute to Kirk Cousins being able to captain that drive. But I'm still have some doubts in regards to that whole offense because I haven't seen what they can really do with Bijan Robinson. I want to see them really unlock that full potential for that offense, for them to really start soaring like the true Falcons that they can be. But with Kirk Cousins, I think it's going to be a matter of time before Michael Penix Jr. I think that might be what's going to happen because he's in a locker room with a lot of young talent, and Kirk Cousins, he's up in age, and if they see any type of adversity, they play in I think they play Kansas City this week, Sunday Night Football. So that'll be a great game to watch. I'm definitely have that circled on my schedule for Sunday to watch that. But I'm selling on Kirk Cousins because I feel like Michael Penix Jr., it's only a matter of time before the locker room starts feeling like, let's see what Michael could do.
That's a good take. I'm going to buy on Kirk.
Okay.
Because I feel like Kirk, when he was at his best in Minnesota, when he had all the weapons around him. He had a good running game, good running back, a couple of good receivers. He's got that down there. They've got all the offensive talent that they need to be successful around him. Also giving him a little bit of grace coming back from an Achilles injury.
Sure.
He's never been a mobile cat, so to be even less mobile off of an Achilles, you notice how they're playing a lot of pistol.
Yes,
That's been a big conversation. That's what I think the Ravens should do, by the way, going really back to that.
Sure.
Because Derrick Henry works best when he's going downhill or off tackle.
Absolutely.
Like a traditional I formation, under formation situation. Lamar is not at his best when he's at. So the happy medium is the pistol, where you're in the shotgun style alignment, but the running back is directly behind you.
Right behind
so
you.
you got all the stuff that you want to do.
RPO,
runs,
right, yeah.
It's all there.
It's all there.
That's a smart adjustment by the Falcons to say, hey, Kirk is a kind of under center quarterback primarily. Play action pass, all that stuff. So that's the happy medium that they did to make Kirk be successful. So I feel like with the weapons, and I think from the coaching standpoint, Saints are really good right now. Tampa Bay's playing really good right now.
Right.
What you don't want to do is put the rookie in there and have him taking rookie lumps early. That's going to get you out of the playoffs or out of the race to win the division. So if Kirk ain't breaking it and he's not losing games, I would say I'm going to buy and keep Kirk in the QB1 spot until he proves otherwise. And I don't think he will. He's a vet. He's smart. He's savvy. Pocket passer, playing point guard, distributing the ball to all those playmakers. I'll buy.
Okay. That's fair.
I love Michael Penix, though.
Yeah, Michael Penix is going to be.
He's going to be a freaking good quarterback.
He's going to be
but
a
just
great quarterback.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's fair. Jim?
This is a tough one because I want to buy him, but I don't think he's proved up. That's why I'm selling him. He didn't
Wow.
win the game
I'm surprised.
last Monday. He didn't win it. The Eagles lost it on that third down play, that play at the end of the game. Instead of running the ball with Barkley, they threw it and dropped it. So I'm not sold on Kirk Cousins. I like him as quarterback in Minnesota. I just don't think he has the ability to lead the Falcons into the playoffs. I'm not saying he won't get benched for Penix Jr. It's just I don't believe in Kirk at the moment.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. So we got 2 votes. We got 1 vote buy, and then 2 votes sell on Kirk Cousins. Okay. Do we want to jump into picks now? I think we can just jump into picks. Oh, you got one more? All right, we got 1 more. All right. I didn't know if you had 1 more up your sleeve. Okay.
I have a lot, but we're gonna keep it short.
We'll keep it short. Yep.
Are you buying or selling Daniel Jones having a starting job for the rest of the season?
Selling.
Get benched.
Selling. He's terrible. He is terrible. Selling right now.
Okay. All right. So Jim, I'm gonna buy, and for the fact that the building believes in Daniel Jones. Everybody else, like outside of the building, has no belief in Daniel Jones. That's the only reason why I'm buying. Daniel Jones holds on to the job. I mean, they got Tommy DeVito, they got Drew Lock. It's not a major upgrade, really, but like I get where you're saying, Coach, in regards to like, does it give him a better chance to win? I mean, he did play pretty well against the Commanders. I mean, they lost, and they gave up 7 field goals?
That's crazy.
That is crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's like, at the same time, Neighbors, he could have done Jones a favor and caught the ball, and then they could have went on and maybe went on to win the game. I'm buying because I feel like the Giants, they paid him the money. They're like, we're gonna play you until the wheels fall off, and they might be looking at next year and might be like, hey, we might get the number 1 pick if we keep Jones in. Because, this year was kind of like, it's a prove-it year for Daniel Jones. Mm-hmm. And so far, he's proved he was not the guy. Mm-hmm. And maybe Giants fans are upset with Vikings because we lost to him in the NFC wild card. And after that, then he got his money. And then now the Giants are kind of like, almost in a like hostage situation with Daniel Jones. That's how I'm equating this, but I'm buying on that just for the fact that I think the Giants are gonna tank this year.
You made some really good political points.
Yes.
My only thing I would say, again, I could
Sure.
be wrong, because those points are very valid. They paid him a contract. He's the face of their franchise. You don't have tremendous backup options. You don't have a Michael Penix that's sitting there chilling, ready to go, or even freaking, I can't think of his name. Who's playing for the Vikings right now?
Darnold.
Darnold.
Yeah, you don't have Darnold.
You don't have a Darnold,
Right.
A proven veteran backup or
Sure.
whatever. My only thing is when the players know the quarterback is not it,
Yeah.
and it's obvious, everybody knows. That's a tough place to be from a coaching standpoint to like know that your players know that your quarterback is bad and
Right.
you're continuing to play him.
Exactly.
So what kind of a message does that send to the team?
Sure.
But if they don't care because they're trying to get the number 1 pick, we've seen it countless times in basketball and football. They'll just like, screw how you feel.
Exactly. Right.
We want this number 1 pick.
We want this number 1
so
pick.
So whatever. So yeah, I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But I'm still selling. I think
Yeah.
at some point they're going to be like, look, enough is enough.
Exactly.
Or when it's just decided, like if they're 2-14
2
or
and 14.
something,
Right.
they may just say, all right, okay, we're done.
Yeah, exactly. We're moving on, right?
Right.
You've done your job.
Exactly.
You can go sit down.
We're shutting you down.
We'll shut you down.
Whatever.
We'll trade you, right?
But I could be wrong. because those political points are very strong.
For sure, for sure. All right, Jim, you got buy or sell, and then for Daniel Jones, and then we'll do our picks.
It's simple. I'm selling. I mean,
Okay.
yeah, all the political stuff, like, he's thrown more pick sixes than he's thrown touchdowns to his own receivers. That is one stat you do not want as a quarterback. So I hard sell. It's not as hard sell as last week when I sold the Carolina Panthers season, but it's close.
Right. Absolutely. I mean, the same could be said about Will Levis. Will he hold on to his job? Because I feel like his coach might have an aneurysm. If week 3, if he continues on this generational arc of these highlight worthy turnovers, if he has another one against the Packers, I think it might be time to put in Mason Rudolph, because you can't have another game like that. So we'll do picks because we want to obviously get our picks in. We got to do Vikings Texans. I think that'll be the first one that I'm picking. Yeah. Whoever wants to go first, they can jump up. Coach?
I'm going to go with the Texans. The reason why I feel confident in doing that is that C.J. Stroud is a very, very good processor of defenses, and our defense for Minnesota is pretty clear. We're bringing a lot of pressure. We're going to play a lot of off coverage, man-to-man or cover 4. And with all the speed that the Texans have, I just feel like they'll be able to hit enough big plays. Because blitzing and playing aggressive, there's a boom and a bust. There's a risk and a reward. I think they'll be able to make them pay a couple of times that they need and ultimately end up winning the game. So I'm going Texans.
Okay. Jim?
I'm going to go Texans as well. I mean, as much as I want to root for the Vikings, but C.J. Stroud, he can pick apart a defense very well. We've seen that happen. It's going to be a close game. I'm going to call it. It's going to be a field goal game last second. I just got a feeling that defense isn't going to hold up, and I just have a feeling Darnell is just not going to have a game this week.
Okay, that's fair. I'm going to be on the opposite side. I'm going to go with Vikings, start 3-0. I believe in Brian Flores more than I believe in our offense. So I believe that's going to be our identity. That's going to get us across the finish line. It's going to be a game where it's going to be like first team to 20, I feel. Because what I saw last week when Houston was playing Chicago, I was like, all right, they could have exploded, but they were held in check for the most part. And I feel like Bears have players, they have talented players, but I don't feel like they can scheme and they don't have the same coaching. So I feel like Brian Flores gives us that edge. DeMeco Ryans going to have a great defensive plan ready to stop Aaron Jones and then also suffocate any type of time that Sam Darnold has to throw the ball, especially with those 2 edge rushers and then also the great play of their secondary. So there's going to be a lot of back and forth in this game. I think it's going to be a field goal game. I think it's going to come down to Will Reichert having to hit a late game winning field goal. But yeah, I got Vikings winning 20-17. Okay, so Jim, what's the other matchup we got to do is another undefeated, because these 2 teams are undefeated. We got the Chargers, and then who are the Chargers playing again? Steelers. Chargers-Steelers. Both 2-0. You got Justin Fields and Justin Herbert. Battle of the Justins.
I'm going to go with the Steelers because I believe in their defense more.
Okay. Even though the Chargers have given up only 13 points?
I just feel like that Steeler formula. And then with Justin be able to run around, make some plays, hit a couple big ones. Coach Tomlin, although Jim Harbaugh is my boy, that's my coach.
Right.
Going back to my Niner days.
I got you.
But my gut says Steelers.
Okay.
I'm going Chargers. I mean, this is the first time that the Steelers are actually facing a quarterback that knows the game a lot more. I mean, last week was Bo Nix. The week before that, they were playing
Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, and they were shut down Kirk Cousins, but
No shade on Kirk. Kirk. It was just a schedule. Yeah.
He was off for a year, first game back, all the rust. So I have to go Chargers on this one. I think they beat the Steelers. I think they beat them big.
Oh, beat them big. Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm going Steelers. I know J.K. Dobbins has been running like a wild man, almost like LT numbers at the beginning of this season. I think like north of 120 yards. And then that's one thing that we haven't seen Justin Herbert have an actual running game. But I still believe, again, in what Mike Tomlin can do to get his team ready and what T.J. Watt could do to wreck a game. So I'm going Steelers. And Justin Fields, we got to get a touchdown here. Come on, we got to get a couple big plays. You got George Pickens, you got Freiermuth, and then you also got Warren and Harris. So I got Steelers in a really exciting game. Mm-hmm. Yep, maybe a touchdown game. Yeah. All right, Jim, I'll let you pick one. I know we got 2 more games. We're doing 4 games, right?
We do 4 or 5.
4 or 5. We can do 4 or 5. Yeah.
Oh gosh, there's so many games here. I'm gonna pick 2, and I'm gonna pick Eagles Saints.
That's a good game.
Saints.
That's gonna be a good game.
Saints for me.
Okay, just keep it short. Okay. Yeah, I got to go Saints. There's no way I can pick the Eagles after Monday night. I'm going Saints too. Derek Carr, yeah, he's having a resurgence of his career. Alvin Kamara's that dude, and he's a future Hall of Famer.
Yeah. Their offense is on fire. I think they scored like 6 straight touchdown drives. Eagles defense is still terrible. So I got the Saints putting up points on them and winning.
Absolutely. Yep. I got Saints by a million. Almost, yeah.
It's going to be a full sweep. I'm going to go Saints too. I think the play calling will be better. Just right now, the Saints are better. They're going to go score. They're on a roll with their offense going on and on. So I'm going Saints. And I'm calling my sleeper right here. Colts Bears.
Okay. Colts
In
Bears.
Indy. The Colts looking to get their first win of the season.
Okay. I feel like this is like a trap game.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the Bears. The Bears defense is playing extremely well. Caleb is struggling, showing all the rookie mistakes and all the rookie struggles. However, I feel like with just his a little bit ability to move around, make a play here or there, and play behind that defense, I feel like the Bears will end up winning the game. And I trust him as a passer more than Richardson.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, this is definitely a trap game. I'm trying to. I want to go. All right, I'm going Colts for the fact that I feel like they're going to be hungry for that first win, and then they got to see what worked for Houston against the Bears. So I think they're going to try to implement. It's a copycat league, so I think that's what they're going to try to do. Really force Caleb to throw into tight windows, and there hasn't been too much of a rushing attack for the Bears. I really wanted to pick the Bears here, but I just can't justify it because DeAndre Swift, they paid him all that money. He needs to show up for the Bears to have that success. And you're already seeing DJ Moore just upset, not getting the ball where he needs it, because DJ Moore is a baller. You just got to get him the ball. But, yeah, I got Anthony Richardson, Alec Pierce, I think Ashton Dolan. They probably connect for a couple of deep balls here because the Bears are notorious knowing to go for those bait plays. So I think they might hit them a couple times, take the top off the defense. But yeah, and Matt Eberflus is making his return. So a lot of returns this week back to Indianapolis, where he got his name as a defensive coordinator, shutting down offenses. But yeah, I got Anthony Richardson breaking through with his first victory in 24.
Yeah, I definitely going to go Colts too. I mean,
Okay.
I think this is going to be a very, very good game. I think both defenses are going to show up. It's really a defensive game. I think it's going to be that. I think it's going to be a 1-point game with Anthony Richardson throwing that touchdown. Caleb unable to get that last second drive deep in the end zone to get the win. So I'm going Colts.
Okay. Awesome. We got one more, or we got how many? You want to pick a game?
Sure.
Okay.
Oh, I don't have a schedule.
Sure. Let me get a schedule up here for you.
While you look, I got Coach. I got a question for you going back to your game. So while he gets that up,
Sure, go for it.
So during your first win, you come out of halftime, you're down 14. It's kind of a two-part. At what point did you realize that, like, wait, we can actually come back in this game, and we are the turning point that you saw on the sidelines?
Yeah.
It was coming out of halftime. The belief was high. You know, we were really coming to a point of, hey, y'all, again, we did everything wrong that we can do. We know how we can play. We've had a number of opportunities to advance the ball and or stop them, and for whatever reason, we got in our own way. It's not like they're blowing us off the field and they're just, you know, we're not a match for them. Let's just get our life together. Let's get back in this game. So the belief was high. And then when we started to play well, the momentum began to get on our side. So that's when I really felt even more confident, when I seen the momentum starting to build on our side and the kids starting to get even more belief and buy-in. I knew we were cooking.
That's awesome.
And at one point, like, you have to tell the kids to, like, settle down, because I understand, like, high schoolers, like, they've lost 30 straight games. They've been losing. Did you have to calm them down and reel them back in, like, as you were going to overtime, trying to make sure, like, they stay focused at all?
I just pulled them over real quick and tried to explain the rules to them. But no, we want our kids playing high. We want them playing with passion and emotion. And that's really when we play at our best, when we got those juices flowing. So I'm never going to tell them to settle down. And we've been doing a really good job so far of being disciplined, not getting, you know, too many dumb penalties or like extracurricular activities, unnecessary roughness, personal fouls, crap like that. So as long as you're not over that edge of hurting the team, all the emotion, all the vibes, all the juice that we can be flowing, we want that to be taking place.
All right.
Awesome. So we got a couple games here. Ravens.
The game I was going to have picked is the Ravens-Cowboys game. So two teams that are struggling out of the gate that people had high hopes for. The Cowboys, we know all about them. Everybody talks about them ad nauseum.
Absolutely.
You know, Dak got his money, CD got his money. Cowboys, you know, want to get back, you know, make a push for the playoffs, potentially get to a Super Bowl.
This is our year.
Years.
Yeah.
And then you got the Ravens with the, you know, reigning MVP. You know, how they played so strong last year and they misfired against the Chiefs. You know, are they going to be able to make a run this year? And for expectation to be so high, both of them have underperformed so far. So Ravens Cowboys is a big game. Ravens could end up being 0-3, which is pretty much, in most cases, going to kick you out of the playoffs. I mean, the Bengals recently did that a couple years ago, started out 0-3, ended up making the playoffs. But playing in the AFC North with all those tough division games, and in the AFC that's stacked and loaded, if they go 0-3, they could literally be out of the playoffs as a result. And then the Cowboys, you know, their division is not as strong, but still, you know, for the Cowboys, expectations on them, this is a big game for them too. So my pick for the game, I'm going to go Ravens, because the Cowboys' weakness is run defense. The Ravens present very, very strong run game. This is a great game to get back on track for them to say, hey, let's find our identity. Let's really get, you know, super invested in running the ball and making big plays after that. So I trust the Ravens to be able to go in there and beat up on the Cowboys and get a W.
Yeah, I would echo that. I'm going Ravens in this game. I know it's going to be a tough game because both teams are going to be desperate to get back into the win column. Ravens haven't even tasted victory yet, so this is going to be a huge game. I think John Harbaugh, he's going to get the Ravens ready to really take a step forward into this season and realize what they need to do to be a successful football team. And I think with Dallas, I just feel like Mike McCarthy is just going to get outcoached. I just don't believe in him to really get the Cowboys to where they want to go. Jerry Jones might think otherwise, but again, that's why they've had the results in December and January. They can't run. They can't stop the run. And if I'm a Ravens fan, two things I want to see. I want to see Lamar Jackson play like Lamar Jackson, and I want to see the running game be the identity. And then also play good defense, because you can't be putting up. You can't win games when you're just giving up almost 40 points every game.
Absolutely.
So I got Ravens in this one.
Ooh, this is kind of awkward, but I'm going Cowboys. I can't believe I have to say that, but I'm going Cowboys.
How about them Cowboys?
We them boys.
Yeah. You know what the Saints said last week? We the men.
Dang.
Clown on the Cowboys. I understand that. And listen, it was fun having the whole stadium cheer when they put the Cowboys score up and they were down a crap ton.
Yes.
But I'm going Cowboys. I think they're going to bounce back this week. I think after getting their ass spanked, that they're going to step it up this week. So I think CeeDee Lamb's going to be involved. Dak's going to bring it up. I think they're going to take the next step up, and they're going to challenge for the NFC East even hard now, because now they know this isn't going to be a cakewalk. This isn't just going to be we're going to steamroll teams. They're not going to have the mentality of, oh, that's going to be easy. We'll just play la-di-da. No, now that they got their ass beat, they're going to step up, and I think they're going to win this game.
Right. They're not just going to win games just because they have the star on their helmet. Right. They got to go actually show out and perform like they did week 1 against Cleveland. So we'll see if that Cowboys team shows up or if last week's Cowboys team shows up. I think last week's Cowboys team is going to show up. But before we wrap up here, I want to give a quick shout out here to Coach, and then also you're outside of coaching football and living life, you're a realtor. And I know there was a huge news that just came across where the Fed made massive cuts to the interest rate. What does that mean to everybody in regards to looking to buy their first home?
It's great, actually, for the economy in general, because a lot of people don't realize that the Fed cutting rates actually affects more than just the mortgage rates. So it's credit card interest rates, it's installment loans, car loans, things like that,
right.
Refinances, things like that.
Sure.
So it's great for the economy overall. In the last year, so rates got as high as 8.5%.
Wow. Yeah.
A year ago in October. So now end of September going into October, we're down at 6%. And
6%.
Then well-qualified borrowers can
yeah.
get rates as low as 5.5% right now.
Right.
So, and that should be going down even more because those Fed rate cuts haven't affected the mortgage rates yet. So It could even go lower. So it's a great opportunity to borrow and get favorable rates, which is going to make your mortgage payment cheaper. If you already own a home, it's a great time to refinance, save some money on that monthly payment. And then if you're looking to do something in terms of like investment properties, borrowing money is going to be even cheaper for you to make those moves. So it's a great move for everybody. It's a win-win-win.
It's a win-win-win right now. All right. Well, we do appreciate you jumping on the 94 podcast. Always a welcome guest. So yeah, just excited to get you back next time, and hope we're talking about more Hopkins Royals football success.
And my pleasure. Thank you for having me. Nothing but success and support for you guys as well.
I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you.
Until next time, here on the 94 podcast, we'll see you at the TOP. And we're out.